And we're back. Season 3, Episode 5, Leaders Only Digital Show and Podcast. Brought to you here by What It Changed Inc. and Tone Drone TV. I'm your host, Kendell.
And I'm Semaj.
And man, we're here to have a spectacular show. We highlighting a major impact gentleman in the community today. We're also going to be highlighting stories, some inspiration for the youth, stories today. So with that being said, we ask that y'all please invite your friends, family, loved ones, anyone that's struggling with anything or just need a piece of knowledge to check us out on the Leaders Only Show. Live streaming every Sunday, 2:30 on our YouTube channel, Leaders Only Show. And we ask that y'all subscribe, share, like, comment below. If you miss us on our live streaming, you can always hit pound, replay, and catch us in the comments. We also could be reached at our on our email, leadersonly22@gmail.com. And Semaj can be reached everywhere on his pages, and I can be reached on my Instagram and everything else. So we're here to bring y'all some excellence today.
All right, so kicking off, there's a story in the news that everybody's probably familiar with now, with Darian Murray, which is an 11-year-old young man. He was shot in the chest by a police officer who responded to their home in Mississippi in the early morning hours of May 20th. After he the one who called 911 for a domestic violence situation.
Then I ran to my mom, and then so I was bleeding from my mouth.
Then I would just remember singing a song, he said. And they asked what song was he singing, and the difference.
No weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Isaiah chapter 54, verse 17. Darian was rushed to the hospital where doctors discovered a bullet had collapsed his lung and cut his liver. He said now he wants to be a doctor. When asked if it was because of the life-saving care, Darian replied, well, not only them. As I said, it was God that saved my life, and I truly believe that.
Yeah, man. So the unique thing about this story is he first was the one that called the police. So he was on the defense for his mother at such a young age. He probably couldn't physically defend her or whatnot. So he did the right thing by calling 911. Sad thing is he was the one injured and could have took his life. But the best thing about it was he was a believer. He believed in God, and he depended on God to save his life. And that's amazing for a young person to be that spiritual and in touch, and recognize that God is the last calling. And then it's just another thing that he's inspired to save lives now and want to be a doctor, which they saved his life, in which God gave them the strength to save his life. So he recognized all that. So, and he's an inspiration to those his age, younger, and us too as well. So he's just a big inspiration. So to suffer such a tragedy at a young age and to bring inspiration and positivity out of it was very touching and inspirational.
Yeah. I think he was shot by the cop.
Yeah.
So I would want to see. I don't know. I wonder how he got shot.
Mm-hmm.
What was happening. It's kind of odd that it was a domestic dispute going on, and the kid got shot. So I would really want to know what caused the officer to even pull a gun out and shoot. Most of the times when you come to a domestic violence call and you're responding to that, it's just normally an argument or a fight between the male and the female.
Mm-hmm.
And then they usually have backup. So they ask the man, they separate the two so you can see what's going on. From just a little bit of stuff that is out there right now, I haven't seen any of that explained. So I guess I will wait for further details. But that's weird to me. It was cool. It was cool to see that he lived. That was the number one thing, because children are the most innocent and the most impacted in domestic violence and homes being broken up. And I would want to see if this is going to get persecuted or how that's going to go. Because it's just like all we seeing is the headline: 11-year-old boy shot in the chest by a police officer, but in responding to domestic violence. But we haven't heard the whole story and why. I would love to see the body camera if they have one in Mississippi. I would love to see how that played out. But a big thing would be the control of guns. It's always a constant back and forth if we should have guns or not. I believe we should be able to protect ourselves and bear arms. But also we should have some type of mental criteria to be able to, perform and operate that gun. I believe that we should have more mental health classes, more checks to do certain positions. I mean, even to become a parent, I be thinking that people should really go to therapy and pass a criteria before having children. Because as you can see now, he's still going to have to deal with that for the rest of his life. And I don't know how well he's going to recover, because when you're 11, you have dreams. You might want to play sports. Then as you get older, I mean, just staying healthy requires you to stay active. So I wonder how that would affect him just taking a jog or just running down the street. So it's tons of things that I thought about when I first heard it. It was just sad yet again to see a child affected by the carelessness of adults on both sides. The parents fighting and not being able to control their actions and their attitudes. But then for him to have to call 911, he's calling for safety. This is not the first story that we talked about on our show where children are calling or things are happening to children. They're getting arrested or put up, being charged as an adult. It kind of cuts the ties of trust between the child and police. Right. So even if one day you wanted to be a police officer, now you're looking at them like they just as bad as a robber. You know what I mean? The outcome was the same. You got shot by a cop. So that's going to be something that he has to get over and deal with PTSD. So I would just hope that the best outcome comes from the situation, meaning that the parents can at least sit and speak and decide if they're going to be together or not. And if they're not, just continue to focus on raising the child and learn from this experience, because it was near death. And being as though he believes in the Most High, that was a second chance. It was a wake-up call for the parents. So I just pray that they take it as one. A lot of times that's what we get. You get shocked, or you get a wake-up call by almost losing your life or going to prison or different things. So I pray that they take heed. And it's cool that he wants to save other people's lives and help, and that they were able to help. I'm glad that the paramedics was able to get there in a good time, because that's another reason why a lot of people pass away on the scene. A lot of times it'd be the paramedics not getting there fast enough. So that's definitely a blessing. But yeah, man, ultimately, I just pray that we become more in control of our emotions, so we don't have to rely on police to come in and step in, because it's a catch-22, and it's kind of bittersweet when you have to deal with them, because we don't know the outcome. You call for one thing, and now you have something even more devastating. So I would say just if we can, man, we gotta do our best to rectify our stuff in the home, the best that we can, and especially be mindful that you have children, because they're gonna do whatever they have to do when they're scared. And their first instinct is what you tell them to call 911. If you see somebody, if you see a stranger, or don't talk to strangers, or if there's danger, you tell them to call 911. So he did the right thing. It just backfired.
Yeah, man. So we can't stress it enough, man, to the importance of taking care of yourself, man, and putting yourself in position to get help or helping others, or just trying to be an example for those who's always watching. So standing on your integrity. So we ask that you always make time for care, make time for self-care, especially find things to do that's positive, productive, that'll help you mentally, physically, that'll better your health. You know, work out, do yoga, meditate, fast sometimes. Read. All these things help you with your mental health, and it also just help you find your peace. Or find your lane. So as you know, we always stress that we have our own mental health line, an emergency line at 988. So it's very important for y'all to use it. It's always somebody. We always say we don't have nobody to talk to. Well, you don't have to talk to somebody in the presence or in the physical presence. You can always use that line if you want to be anonymous. 988 mental health emergency line. So, like we promised, man, we were gonna highlight a major individual, a gentleman in the community that does a lot of things. So we just want to highlight this gentleman because he has a major event this weekend. So, Mr. Neil Tucker, he represents the Huddle Foundation. Mr. Neil is a major influence to the youth in the community. He touches the high schools in that type of age group. So this weekend he's hosting Summer Madness League. Some things that Mr. Neil does in the community, like I said, he always working with the youth. So the basketball is one. He highlights a award in the community, the Heroes Award. He also provides for the youth. He has workshops, healthy cooking lessons, financial literacy, helps them with their hygiene and grooming. And these are just some topics that he touches, which is everyday things that we need in life, which help you with your mental health, help you with your self-esteem, things of that nature. When you keep yourself up and when you're taught that. Some of us don't have fathers, some of us don't have mothers. Some of us never been taught these things. And for him to be a influence and somebody that's just willing to give his time and lead, and give that to the youth and not hold his knowledge and give off his wisdom is a great thing. So we thank you, Mr. Neil Tucker. Like I said, he represents the Huddle Foundation, and Summer Madness is hosted this weekend, all weekend, from Thursday all the way to Sunday at PG Community College basketball event. I have a little announcement to make. I did graduate. I finally graduated. I did say March 30th was my day, so all my test results was, all my tests was submitted on the 30th, which we were supposed to, so I got all my grades back. And I must say that was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. I ain't been in school in over 15, 20 years, and boy, when I say I was stressed out, and I was up all night, man. So I am a certified master fitness trainer. I do hold the 6 stars, so I am a certified nutritionist. I'm a certified strength and conditioning coach, a certified fitness coach, glute specialist, body builder specialist, and yeah, that's me, new trainer. So I'm excited about that. Appreciate it. So, man, I'm just looking forward to doing a lot with that. I'm looking forward to also joining up with you with that. And it works hand in hand with the herbs and the things that you give off, the knowledge that you give off with the health. And like I already had some clients, but now I see the avenue I want to go with it because, like, for instance, I was talking to a good friend earlier, right? And you know Demetrius Reader. Um,
Yeah.
so I was talking to Man earlier, and his brother is in great shape, um, fit. He like what 6 foot, about 220, solid muscle, works out all the time. But us as our kind, you know, and us being men too, um, we push ourselves so hard and don't recognize side effects sometimes. So he in the gym, he working out like going hard, he doing squats, things of that nature, and he felt when he went down for the squat and came up, he went blind in his right eye, right? And he wasn't recognizing that it was a sign of a stroke happening, right? So by the time he said, by the time he got out of the gym, he made it to Harriet's teeter, he fell out, went out, you know, and he's probably like 40, probably like 46, he's 10 years older than us, yeah, probably like 46, you know, and that was just a wake up call too, like, bro, and that's what made Man call me, like, bro, I see you got your stuff and all that, man. You made me, I influenced him to go ahead and do his again because he said he had stopped, you know, um, but he's always in the gym. And he was like, bro, people don't recognize that they just be doing things for the outside, you know. And I put up a post today, like people always trying to, you know, the cost of beauty and the price that people pay for beauty, you know. Um, um, it's crazy how they affect their loved ones if something go wrong, you know. And so like the gentleman DC Young Fly White passed away, you know, off of trying to look so beautiful, you know, the cost of it, you know, and it's sad. Like what that'll do if you thinking like from my perspective, if I put myself in his shoes, you know, and he kind of like condoned that, you know, because he pretty much if you think about it, he probably paid for that. You know, how would he? I know that crushed him. You know, to pay for something and it go wrong for your wife to make her feel good. You know, who's to say he wanted to do that? I don't know, but at the same time, I know how I would feel. Like, dang, I didn't pay for that. You know, and so it's just amazing. I'm proud of myself. You know, I made another accomplishment. I did what I said I was going to do, but also it's just to better myself and to better others. Because fitness, I don't do it to look good. You know, I do it to stay healthy. I looked good before I even started working out. You know, I was blessed. You know, so I ain't even tripping on that. But to pick up a new hobby, you know, to help somebody else, because I always get asked in the gym how I do this, or what should I do, or I always give out certain things in the gym. You know, and to see the effect on my brother, like, bro, he ripped up, bro. That man 40. You know. You know what I'm saying? Like that's amazing, bro. He don't look 40. You know, he didn't even look like that when he was playing college ball. You know, to me to help that influence, you know, to me help give him a couple pointers, you know, and see the results. I know what I can do, you know, and that's what I do it for. You know, like I said, it's a bonus to look good already on the outside, but you never know what's going on in the inside. So you must take care of yourself now. You know, tomorrow ain't never promised. That saying is very true. Ain't no age limit on death.
That's true. Um, that's why the importance of eating right and changing our lifestyles is so important. Um, like I said, I'm exhausted, so I engage with people who want to engage. Uh, but that's big. It's important. Um, it's definitely needed in our community. Um, but yeah, if you're not eating right, or if you're not getting enough rest, if you're not getting mental health help, if you're not relaxing your mind, um, it'll just be like a car, like a lemon. You look good. Um, like I say, 39, and when I was in college, we were just talking about this the other day. we were lifting like bodybuilders. So I've been in shape before, and I've been big in diesel, but everybody think that diesel means healthy, and it don't.
Hmm.
It just means you work out a lot, or you lift a lot of weights. But that's why I try to continuously talk to people about just changing your diet, uh, because if you don't, you'll be just dealing with a bunch of complications that we fall in line with the statistics. So it's just like it's just a matter if people really love themselves. Uh, that's why I don't want to focus on sports. I don't want to, like, you'll see a kid eat a bag of Skittles before they play ball, and coaches won't say nothing. Um, it's just because they're young and they're in their youth, so they can just go do whatever. But when they're 27 and 37, you can't eat a bag of Skittles and do that. But you've done it for 20 years, 15 years. So just to stop, even if you stop for a year, that's not good enough. You know what I'm saying? You got to stop it. You got to counter as many years you put it in your body. And then if you don't fast and if you don't eat fruit, I mean, a lot of our families, I still see it to this day, they'll eat fried chicken, rice, and corn. I mean, you have to pay attention to your food. Number one, you're eating chicken. You didn't raise the chicken. The chicken has hormones, steroids, cancer in it by itself. The chicken got cancer. Rice, you're eating white rice. It turns into sugar. That's why white bread and white rice and salt, they contribute to a lot of ailments, and sugar, they can contribute to diabetes. They contribute to all these things. A lot of us are dehydrated. We think grabbing a juice makes it better. We grab Gatorade. Gatorade is high in sodium, high in sugar. It's not a good drink. Vitamin water, it's not a good drink. A lot of these drinks have yellow 5, red dye. When you're drinking something, it literally should have as least ingredients as possible. And that's why the best thing to do is drink water. Try to get out of, you know, just purified water, because purified water is just drinking water from a spigot with a filter. It's like you pouring a Brita in a bottle and selling it. You know what I mean? So even that's not good enough. But things are different now, man. I don't know what's about to happen. I say that every week, but it's like 98 degrees today. But a lot of places on the East Coast are going to be in the 50s and 60s tomorrow. So that's literally affecting your immune system. It's shocking your body. Your body has to be able to prepare for that. I know for a fact the Northeast, it's like 80, 90 degrees right now. I just seen Massachusetts, New York, certain places like Connecticut. They're in the high 80s right now, but they will definitely be in the 60s and 50s this coming week. All week it's about to rain. And I noticed that when COVID did happen, like, it took a long time to get warm. Like, we didn't have a spring. We had fall, winter, fall, and now we're about to run right into summer. It's just about to get super hot. Who knows what they're doing to the weather, but that's the way it's looking. Like, we didn't have a fall, so things are changing. So, yeah, I just say, man, please just be mindful of everything. At this point, I feel like we just begging our people to get right, and it's like, it's for the benefit of us, you know. I've seen a few people this week, and their mothers died. 3 of my friends' moms died, and 2 of them I hadn't spoken to for 5 years. So that kind of messed me up, because on my journey, I mean, I started events, and I'm not one to go make new friends. So when I stop hanging with my friends, I hang by myself. I'm not one to talk about people or nothing, because I wait to bump into people so I can talk to them and tell them how I really feel, which is what led me to therapy, which is why I encourage a lot of people to go to therapy, because a lot of people think you be ignoring them, or a lot of people think you don't speak to them because there's beef. But a lot of people on that other side don't ever question what you're going through, or where your head is at, or what you're trying to accomplish, or what's going on with you. With me, I'm very loyal. When I sit and think about people, I think about winning together. So when we did events and we start falling off one by one, I was highly upset. Certain people had babies, certain people had marriage or relationships or people had graduated, but I thought we would stick together, you know what I'm saying? When life comes, you know, that's what we have to get back to, and that's why I try to emphasize sticking together like a tribe, because just because you have a child, that should be the tribe's child. So you don't have to go fall off for 3-4 years, child support and this and that, and arguing with the mother. Like, we need that fellowship. So the first thing I just did when I heard it was just call a couple of them and just apologize to a couple of them, because when we were coming up, I was that friend that anybody could call, or they can come up over, or they can come to my mom's house, or they can come get a meal. I would pull up if they need me to drive over there. I would come there, and that was a void that I know a lot of people missed. And for you to be friends and brothers and stuff, when you lose a mother or a parent, your friends should be able to call on you for that therapy, for that comfort. And even though they may have had other people, I just know how tight we were. So even if they were comfortable or not comfortable calling me, my line should always be open. And we just were able to just speak, you know, on certain things, because it's never an issue to see somebody you love and pick up where you left off. We moved, you know, I was explaining taking care of our father, going to the West Coast, living out your car. Like, these are things that people don't, and then when you tell them, it's like, dang, I ain't know that. Or they wish you would have told them, like, man, I wish I could have helped you. Some of them, you know, so I took this week because we went, my mom, seeing mommy last week, and she showed me the invitation to Jack's wedding reception at his house. He got a new crib, and I hadn't seen him in probably before I seen him at Leah's birthday a year or two ago. We hadn't just really kicked it, but I hadn't seen Spook in like 5 years.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Tevis and GB for like 6 years, and these were people I've seen every day. And that's what a lot of people don't realize when you play sports, which is why I just want to work on the mental health aspect, because a bunch of people go to college and expect to go pro, and a lot of people don't talk to or about the 70 people a year that don't get drafted at all on each team. It's over 3,000 college football teams, so it's over 200 and something thousand people who have dreams like they did. I don't care if you play at Christopher Newport, third Division III, you think you're going pro. Every Saturday you're playing a college game, you think you play at Alabama.
Right.
And then it's all over. And then you have to go get a job at Walmart or CVS or 2-3 jobs just to make rent. And then your wages are getting garnished because child support. There's a lot of depression that go on with athletes. That's why I love athletes. That's why it's always much respect to everybody who getting them to play, and it's never no disrespect. But I am a former athlete and a good one, and my heart goes out to these athletes because everybody wants their ability. Don't nobody check on their mind. There's and people talk to them and at them like they ain't nothing. You got to just respect your coach. But again, just like we just seen with the domestic dispute, that coaching is a title, yo. Before he put on coaching, he's a human being. So he's a man. When he go look in that mirror, he got issues too. And you coaches and adults and people in power, you managers, all you people need to stop bringing your personal issues and taking them out on younger people or people who are subordinates to you. This happens at work where people try to get off, and you trying to put in a time sheet, and if they got a personal issue with you, then they're not doing it. But that relies on the insecurity within themselves. Nobody should be that uptight where they're trying to hang on to your time, or we just get in the role of the slave master. We've been whipped for so long that we can't wait to get in a position of power. And for most times, yo, I'm seeing it every single day. I see it with the corporate America, with the government. People can't wait to get the managerial position or the GS-13 so they could tell everybody what to do and they could stop doing work. And we're in a position where we got to do more work. So if you thought it was getting easier, it's harder. It's so hard that trying to keep up with business and having a sane mind and a sane heart, when kids are getting shot by police or people are getting shot and nobody's going to jail, or we racing on the highway and they're shooting on the highway. I just seen that today down in Virginia Beach in the Hampton area. These supercars, these Chargers, these Challengers, these Hellcats, they're aggressively scaring people on the highway, and with people slowing them down, they said this car got shot into on the highway. So it's just like That's a clear sign of your emotions, but that rage is a clear sign of the meat you eat. That's an animal. You're acting like a beast. You acting just like a pig. You acting just like a wolf. You acting just like a chicken. They don't have no control. They just run around. That's what we're doing. Our first instinct is to fight or to harm, not to control ourselves, not to rectify the situation, not to get some understanding. That should be the first thing we try to do, is gain some understanding. But it's not happening. So it's like all these highlights. I said that just to say, man, we keep focused on the highlight. I don't see many people lining up to talk about helping Ja Morant. I don't see a lot of people lining up to help a Mikey Williams. Mikey Williams actually wore out here. But again, that's the stuff that affects me, because that's why I don't care about his talent. I don't even care about the best player's talent no more. I care about if his mind's right, if he's a good person, if he's respectful, if he's a leader. Like, if he's not going to let the sorriest person, so-called sorriest person on the team, the one with the least athletic ability, is he going to let him not get bullied? Is he going to know that he's on the team because he upholds a 3.8 GPA, so he's vital to the team too? He can be helping some of the star players who who can't pass. You know, it's easier to learn from your peer than it is to learn from an adult. You know what I'm saying? But these are the things that we need to be breaking down, because teams are not teams no more. Teams are businesses. You know, if you're not running your team, your organization like a corporate 500, you're behind the ball as a coach. They got NIL deals. They got social media. They got their influence. They're getting paid off of video games. So it's going to be hard for you to tell a 16-year-old, 17-year-old what to do, and he's making $2 million. He's making more than you at this point. So you have to focus on connections with the family, keeping him, hard work, taking your team in the community to clean up the street. They need humility. They need to go to hospitals to see people who can't walk again, to see why it's so important and such a blessing that you can jump. You know what I'm saying? We don't think about stuff like that. But and more I'm seeing it. You know what I'm saying? Coaches want this player here, transfer there, transfer here. High school, junior high school is coming just like college and the NFL. I seen a combine and a showcase for kids that are in the first grade. They're 6 and 7 years old. It's like you putting your children. They more focused on putting their children on the chopping block like it's cattle. So you want your child to perform and get checked from the time he's 6. They're going to follow this kid all the way till it's time for him to go to college. So he's going to be followed. Then if he go to college, then he's going to get a chance to go pro. But these are people focusing on only your child's grades and your child's talent. For 20 years, 15 years, nobody is checking your child's mental health, their mental capacity, their anxiety, their post-traumatic stress disorders. Nobody. If he's even just a good kid. No, every parent thinks their child is a good kid. But what do your child do when you're not around? This is why the Lil Durks or the NBA Youngboy has more influence. You should never be blaming the music, because we should have enough parents in the home teaching our kids that this music is entertainment. It's not real. But if nobody's telling you that, then you're going to go out and do it. Just like you seen the brother from here that plays at Alabama. The dude lost his scholarship. He don't have a chance to go pro no more. But everybody cared about him going pro. Now, I bet you ain't nobody lining up to go see him in jail. This is our problem. Everybody wants the bag. Everybody want that person to go pro so they can take care of them. I don't care if they go pro or not. I don't. I found a way when I didn't go pro. I was doing NIL before NIL. I was having events. My coach was allowing us to get back. We had a game at Morgan State. The coach missed all the stops on the way back so I can perform in my team, in my group, we could have in our event. But the only reason he did that because I was mature, because I went to him like a young man. I was upstanding. I wasn't out here being a fool. And then even more, I was able to talk to my coaches and let them know that, man, I don't come from a rich background. You understand? I quit playing football and I found something. I stumbled across something that I was passionate about. But even more, it allowed my other homeboys to maybe not have to sell weed, to maybe not have to call back home for some sneakers, to not only rely on a Pell Grant for one whole semester, and that's only like $2,000-$3,000, and you gotta make that last the whole semester. So yeah, I've been on the team with people who got locked up for murder on my team, my teammate. I played with other athletes that been locked up for armed robbery. I've seen people that I spoke to one day, the next day they hung themselves in their dorm room. This is what I'm saying. Everybody tell you about college, but it's all parties. Everybody tell you get your degree. I've been losing people. I just cope. And then I think about them on the days I'm supposed to, but then it forms me into the person that I am to care more about people on an emotional level, to care about just if you're okay today, because me asking you if you're okay may stop you from shooting up the student union if somebody piss you off. I remember sitting on the opposite side of the student union, and somebody drove right in the parking lot, killed a brother because they got into an argument Saturday at the club because he was messing with the dude's girlfriend. This is stuff that happened while I was in college. I was having an event one night, and somebody got stabbed up in the lobby at school. This is what I'm saying. None of this stuff made the national news for nothing. But every time somebody go pro from a Division I AA HBCU, they are highlighted. It's pushed to the front. But there's tons of people. That's why I don't give back to my HBCU, because I feel like they don't give a damn about what I'm doing because I ain't go pro. I'd rather give my money to people I know. I'll give my money to a stranger who need it, and that's a $150 contribution in life on my currency, on spiritual currency in life, opposed to donating to the school, and they don't give two cares about me. I don't represent my schools. I represent my relationships. Every time I represent my teams, because these are bonds that nobody will ever realize. And that's why I'm just calling out to a lot of my teammates now, and just a lot of people who use former athletes. Get back in contact with your team, yo, because we miss that fellowship. That's one of the loneliest and hardest things in life with me, to go from being around 15 to 30 people at any time, pushing towards something. We were 1-9 2 years in a row. It didn't matter. We were still trying to win the meet. I just knew everybody around me that was working is working towards something. We have to find a way to transfer that from sports to winning together in life. We get 50, 60 brothers. If everybody just going to work, then we should be able to buy land. We can start our own communities, yo. Just putting our money together, buying land, and then building our cribs on. Everybody get their own loans, and we build our cribs on it. We got our own community. You know, our children should be growing up together. There's many things. The reason why we don't see a lot of kids outside playing, you know, with each other, because parents move so much nowadays that, you know what I mean, you ain't got time to make friends. You know what I'm saying? That's also another thing. So it's easier to play Madden or Call of Duty with you online, because at least we stay connected online. We're contributing to them getting away from this reality. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot going on in the world, and every week, you know, just continue to remember, yo, don't just pimp these children's athletic ability or their music capabilities or their acting capabilities. Start to protect these children, man. Please start teaching them, because if they get in the hands of the NBA, or they get in the hands of the NFL, or they get in the hands of Hollywood, and you haven't groomed them, it's too late. And they're going to either go to prison, they're going to lose the opportunity, or at the end of the road, they're going to be broke. Vin Baker. You know, I was just seeing Lenny Williams. He was on It Is What It Is with Cameron and Mace. Great story, because he was better than LeBron and them. But he was NIL, and before NIL, he was hanging around all the rappers. He was wearing the gold chains. The same thing like your Mikey Williams and the people who their mothers let them be the man of the house. You know what I'm saying? It's important to keep a man around and positive male role models and influences and better examples. Like, the age of just talking at people are over. So if your example is not going to back up what you're saying, it's quite time for you to shut up. Seriously, man, just start working on yourself. And I back up what I say. I even shut up more, because I'd rather you just see it, yo. The preaching days, I'm done. I'm literally scoping out who wants it. When I go work around these teams, I'm willing to help everybody, but I'm only sighting out to help those who want it. So I'm willing to help them if they come, but I'm looking at the one who picking up the weights, the one who is leading the groups, the one who ain't complaining. I'm helping the one, like diagnosing the ones who are, but that one who is not complaining, the one leading all the drills, the one going as hard, he's going to be so valuable to the families of those. Those are the ones we protect, because those are the ones that can help multiple people at one time. So, if anything, man, again, heal, but please start protecting these children, man, because I see a lot of people looking at children as now their second go-around to dollar signs. And I thank my mom for giving me the invitation, but just being able to start going back across people who I had strong relationships with, and being able to just talk my true feelings on really how I feel, if I was hurt, if I was upset, all these things, but then at the same time hearing them without my pride and my ego, because my pride and my ego would have kept me from going around them in the first place. So if there's things that you need to mend with people, do it on your own time, but at least start healing your heart alone, so the universe pick up the vibrations, and it'll put you when it's the right time. You know what I mean?
Sir.
You don't have to force yourself to do it, but fix some things, man, because everybody can be here and gone. I mean, if there ain't nothing that you seeing at this time, anybody can be gone in a blink of an eye. So it's time to just love yourself and love on your people, man.
Yes, sir. So with that being said, man, this is your Leaders Only digital show and podcast, live and streaming every Sunday at 2:30 from the garden located at 4915 St. Barnabas Road, Temple Hills, Maryland. And occasionally we be on various locations. And we appreciate y'all joining us, man. We appreciate the touching, man, inspiration, the story that came out, man, that you just presented, and how you reconnected, man. That's commendable. We commend you. We appreciate your honesty. We thank you, Spook. We thank you, Jack. Ultimately, we thank you, Mom. Rest in peace to Jay's mom. Man, to Demetrius, big bro, get well, bro. And like always, man, this is season 5. Episode 5, season 3. And we always are brought to you here by What It Changed Inc., Mentoring Inc., and Tone Drone TV. And I'm your host, Kendell.
And I'm Semaj.
And we ask that you like, share, comment, subscribe, click the bell. Email us at leadersonly22@gmail.com. We love you. Thank you for your support. You can always reach us on our replay pound in the comments replay.
Yes.
If you can't catch us on a live stream, always, I love you, bro.
Love you
Appreciate
too.
you.
And every third Friday of the month, they have the food give away the food bank here at 4915 St. Barnabas Road again.
And that's sponsored by that's through the garden.
Yeah. Well, it's through our Saviour Lutheran Church.
Fact.
So, and we just at the garden. So also keep in mind that we do shoot live. So if you ever want to come hang out, come to the garden, get some mint, get some parsley and stuff, catch the show, you're definitely welcome. Just email us ahead of time, and we would love for you to come out and hang.
Yes, sir, man. Like I said, we appreciate y'all. Love y'all.
Yes.
Y'all have a blessed one. Peace.
mentalhealthchef.com.
Yes, sir. Oh, new fitness coach. You can hit me.